It's Mangorille from the future. I've been testing the O4 Lite Air Unit on the BetaFPV Pavo20 Pro since launch day, and I do want to expedite the release of this video because I've received a number of questions and comments from folks who are looking to pull the O3 Air Unit out of their quad and put in the O4 Lite. And I want to make sure that you have all the information to make a determination like that, so that there are no disappointments down the road. Now, I don't think in 1,000 years anyone expected DJI to release a product like this, so definitely excited to see this, but like any DJI product, it has its place in the lineup, and I'm hoping the information in this video will help you determine whether the Lite's right for you, the Pro, or perhaps it's the right decision to stay with the O3 Air Unit. Hey folks, it's Mangorille. Welcome back to the channel. After 2 years and 2 months of faithful service, it is now time to retire the O3 Air Unit and move over to the new O4 Air Unit. This time around, DJI has blessed us with 2 different versions of the O4 Air Unit. You've got the standard, which is the one that has the naked board, along with the smaller camera. This is designed for smaller, lighter weight builds. And then you've got the Pro, which has the big hunky camera, and also it's got all the heat sinks and so forth. This video will focus on the standard or the Lite you're seeing here. I got this from Amazon. I will give you links in the video description. Really not much in the box. We've got an accordion style manual, and then everything else you need comes in this static proof bag. Looking at the camera is super minuscule and very lightweight. It does have this lens protector that clicks in to give you some extra durability on the lens itself. And then looking at the board, again, very bare bones, and I'm quite surprised that DJI is giving us a kind of product that they would consider unfinished, but this is great. This is exactly what us hobbyists would like. We've got a small connector here for the DJI power and an S-Bus and all those kind of things. This is the same pinout as the prior generation, so this will be plug and play. And then finally, we've got an antenna over here, which will of course be a UFL. If you notice, there is no SD card slot. This does have 23 gigabytes of onboard recording, which should be plenty for smaller flights. Next, we have some gummies for soft mounting the air unit. Next, we have an adapter for the camera that will change the camera from its current form factor over to a standard 14mm width. And then we got some special self-tapping screws because this plastic is not tapped. Now let's go over to the computer. As always with any DJI products, first thing we gotta do is install the latest firmware on both the Air Unit and also on our goggles. I will be doing this with the Goggles 3. Next thing I wanted to explore was whether I can transplant this O3 Air Unit camera onto the O4 Lite, and unfortunately you cannot. So just compare the size of this MIPI cable. So on this side is the O4 Lite, this is the O3 on my left side, and the cable on the O4 is nearly half the size. So transplanting cameras is out of the question. I've got the O4 Lite Air Unit ready for installation into my BetaFPV Pavo20 Pro. And I did a couple of modifications here. First thing I did was I 3D printed a cross brace, because based on my experience, the Eagle 3T, which is the main chip on the O4 and the O3 Air Unit, is very susceptible to damage if there's any kind of deflection or bending in the board. I have broken 2 O3 Air Units because of a bending in the board that cracked that chip. So I'm hoping this will give this as much of a fighting chance in the real world as possible. Now I know the O4 Lite has a slightly thicker board. So this board, I measured it, is 0.84 millimeters. The O3 board is 0.6 millimeters. So that in itself should make this a bit more durable. But I figure, hey, let's protect the investment with this modification. And then I also did use as much of my design abilities as I could to create this mount. What this 3D printed mount does is it converts the 14mm width of this camera to the 20mm width of the O3 Air Unit. And I have retained the hole spacing of the O3 camera. So that should make this camera slot right into any frame that is O3 compliant. I use some small screws for the top and the bottom, and then I will use the O4 Lite supplied screws for these holes over here. Before we go any further, let's do a reality check. This is my naked O3 Air Unit. This thing weighs 21.96 grams. And then here's the O4 Lite with the modified parts. and it weighs 12.37 grams. So roughly 10 grams saving here, not too bad. Installation into the Pavo20 Pro is complete. The camera slotted in with the TPU adapters, just like how the O3 camera would have. And then for mounting the air unit, I went a little bit old school. I just used 2 zip ties around the cross brace that I created. So there is no pressure on the actual air unit. It's all around the brace itself. I did have to switch out this cable because the cable is now on the side versus being on the back. So this cable here is the one that came with the air unit itself. I removed 2 cables because I don't need those for Express LRS. Let's do a final weight check. This now weighs with the O4 Lite. It weighs 88 grams. Add in our 450 3-cell battery, and now this weighs 125. And here is our testing setup. I've got the O4 Lite on this side plugged into my flight controller from my 1S Tiny Whoop over here. The power of the O4 is coming directly from the battery connector over here. I also did connect over the UART so we can monitor how things are on the OSD. And also when we're ready, we can send over an arming signal. Test number 1 was a little bit of an outrageous and impractical test. I pretty much just plugged this in and let it sit on the bench without an arming signal, which of course we don't fly like that. But without an arming signal, this went right down to 3 volts. Now for test number 2, I left everything in automatic mode on the O4 Lite Air Unit, and I sent through an arming signal on my transmitter. I was able to go all the way down to 3.28 volts before we lost image transmission. That again is quite impressive. For test number 3, I went ahead and I set the power limit on the O4 Lite Air Unit to 25 milliwatts, and we still lost image transmission at that roughly 3.29 volts. For the final test, I went ahead and I set the O4 Lite power output to the maximum, which was 700 milliwatts, and this time around we lost image transmission at 3.34 volts. So it looks like roughly this can go down to, let's say, 3.3, 3.4 volts before it loses transmission. That may be good enough for a 1S Tiny Whoop. Right now you're looking at the video recording from the O3 Air Unit's onboard recording. This is shot at 4K 60 frames per second. And before we look at the O4 Lite footage, we need to see how things look like on the O3. So this is actually shot on the same day as the O4 Air Unit footage you're about to see. And what can I say about the O3? Everything is beautiful. We know where the shortcomings are, which has to do with just the lack of detail in the shadow areas, along with a lack of dynamic range. That's been the story with the O3 camera for the last 2 years. And of course, nothing changes here, but everything continues to look really nice and beautiful on this snowy day. Even looking at the actual footage from the Goggles 3 recording, just looks fine, looks great. No main complaints, but of course with the O4, we expect more. Right now you're looking at the onboard recording from the O4 Air Unit Lite, shot in the same settings as the O3 Air Unit, which was 4K 60 frames per second. Now, unfortunately, even though this is flown right after the prior flight, the weather conditions did change a little bit, so it's less snowy and a bit brighter, but we can still use this to give us a perspective of how the two cameras do differ. And looking at this on the surface, it looks fine, no major complaints. But we know there is a compromise because the O4 Lite uses a way smaller image sensor than the O3 and of course the O4 Pro. And that smaller image sensor is going to impact our image quality. And in my mind, looking at this footage back to back, I think we're giving up the detail that we see in the distance. So when we look at some of these trees out there in the distance, they look less detailed than what we saw on the O3. And in my mind, the O4 Lite is intended to prioritize just a lightweight package for a small, lightweight build, as opposed to prioritizing image quality. This still looks just fine, but I think I like the O3 footage better. But I'll let yourselves be the judge of which you prefer, given your installation and how you intend to use these two. But given the size, given the weight, no major complaints on this footage. Now to wrap up, I do want to commend DJI for what they've created here. They've created a very interesting and fascinating device, something that I don't think anyone really expected them to create. So definitely good job there. Unfortunately, in my view, this is not a product for everyone just because the O number is higher. So, O3 versus O4, it doesn't mean that this is actually an upgrade. And in some ways, this is truly a downgrade from the O3. So when we think about the output power, this can only go up to 700 milliwatts versus 1200 on the O3. When we think about the camera, definitely smaller sensor, in my view, lower video quality as well. So this is trying to really prioritize size and weight versus anything else. And I think once you realize what this is, then you can really put this to full use. And the way I see this O4 Lite, it's designed to go into those quads that cannot carry an O4 Pro, or that cannot carry an O3, or that cannot carry an O3 decased. That's what this is for. So if you are going to purchase this just because you like the price or just because you think it's an upgrade from the O3, just make sure you're aware of what this product is in order to avoid potential disappointment. So hopefully you like this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and stay tuned for more videos.